call the Facilities Committee meeting for Wednesday, May 20th to order. Let me lead us in a prayer, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we're thankful for this day and thankful for this community we live in. Father, help us to be good stewards of our customers' money and help us to understand the problems at hand. Help us to, we pray for our staff. We appreciate everything they do and be with their families. And Father, we pray for rain too, that we would, this drought could be ended so that we wouldn't have so many problems with some of our neighbors here in the surrounding counties. Thank you for everything you've done in blessing this community through the years, and we look forward to a good year, and guide us in this meeting. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Amen. There's no public comment. We'll move to the approval section. Item 1 is minutes from the April 15th, 2026 Facilities Committee meeting. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Motion second. All in favor? Motion carries 2-0. Item 2 is variance appeal, Reeves-Whitlock Lane Lab. Mr. Burrows.
Yes, sir. So we have with us today Mr. Jeff Kicklighter with Reeves Construction and Tim Cheek with Robert Civil Engineering to discuss a variance request for a temporary laboratory facility for asphalt testing for the I-95 project. I'm trying to get there on the map. If you So, Glynn County ordinance, if a new construction is being completed and it's within 500 feet, you are required to connect to the public water and sewer systems. It's 500 feet from any portion of the parcel. The lab is going on Whitlock Lane, which is adjacent to Whitlock, where we have a large diameter gravity sewer. Good. Thanks, man. Right in here. Right. Which one is this?
What size sewer is it?
It's a 30-inch gravity sewer. The reason is this is a temporary facility, and they brought the temporary facility in for the testing. They requested a variance, but the Glynn County ordinance only allows a variance from the director for a single-family residential property. So the variance request was denied according to the Glynn County ordinance, which I have pulled up here. There is an appeal process. If the owner has been denied an exemption by the director, they may appeal the decision to the Board of Commissioners. If they do so within 30 days in writing, and they provide a feasibility report containing the specific objections to the decision. So Reeves has done this. Essentially, with the temporary facility, they feel that it is unnecessary and unreasonable to expect them to put in $83,000 worth of sewer just to connect a lab with one bathroom. Correct. One bathroom in it for a temporary facility. But due to the way the ordinance is written, I am unable to grant this variance, so I bring this to the Board of Commissioners for review.
Blow that up and let us see what we got. We're doing some surveying over in Whitlock someplace, a new sewer line, aren't we?
Yeah, so that won't be, there's sewer at the property line. It's not an availability of sewer issue.
Well, how far they gotta go to tie to it? Isn't it right in front of them?
It's on the backside by the railroad track.
Yeah.
It'll be about 1,100 feet, I think it was.
The property corner is.
Does the property adjoin it,
The property adjoins.
where the sewer line is?
Well, I think it's right away, but yes, sir.
I don't understand yet. Is the sewer on the property?
There's sewer at the property line. The lot is very large because it's an industrial facility. They're bringing in a portable trailer with one bathroom in it. They don't want to have to put in a grinder station to run 1,100 feet from the trailer site to the.
Does Reeves Young own the property?
Reeves, not Reeves Young, different company.
Does Reeves own the property?
The property is owned by Mark Marietta.
Yeah,
We're on a ground lease with the property
But
to operate an asphalt plant on that
Okay.
property.
So you're operating an asphalt plant on that property?
Correct. We have a 6-inch well, and we do have a septic tank on that site.
Right.
It was done in 2007.
Andrew, you just said it's at the property line, so 500 feet requirement, but you just said they'd have to run 1,100 feet.
From where they're locating the trailer on the property.
Why is the trailer being located there?
It's coming off scales from the asphalt plant. It's located there so they can take the samples off the trucks. This is a portable lab. It's on wheels.
How long do you think it'll be there?
Right now, we finish Camden and go into McIntosh. It'll probably be there at least to the end of the year. Maybe a month later. It will be basically mothballed after those two projects are done, unless one of the other Reeves facility needs it. It could go to them.
And are you gonna have to put down a septic tank?
No, sir.
So the septic tank's
We were
already out
gonna-
there in
We're
your.
planning on, just a tank and have a waste management company come in, just like an office trailer, and pump out the tank as needed.
Yeah, so the facility, this is the, finally got this working, my apologies. So, see if the every, but anyway, the trailer's gonna be put in this general area here. There's a sewer line at the back of the property here that they would be connected to. But because of the location of the trailer and to the point of connection, this is obviously a very large lot to have that asphalt facility on there.
And from where they're gonna locate it to where the sewer line is, you say it's about 1,100 feet.
According to Robert Sill, I haven't measured it out myself, but
Yes.
pretty good at measuring.
It's pretty close. To 1,100 feet.
1,107 feet of 2-inch force main.
I don't have an issue with it. Mr. Chairman, I move that the Facilities Committee recommend approving a variance request for parcel 03-08946, requiring the parcel to connect to the public sewer system.
Is there a second?
second.
Any questions?
I will say, we get a lot of these, not a lot of these, we get a handful of these throughout the year for residential, and there's a feasibility study that we look at, and I'm able to grant those. This is only coming to you because it's not single-family residential, and the wording in the ordinance clearly states single-family residential units.
Is that a notation that we need to do to have the ordinance amended? I know we
Well,
don't
I
run
will say,
across
almost
these every
never
day.
do we get this request,
Right,
because it's, you know, typically if somebody's putting in a commercial business, you're
Yeah.
going to, this is a very unique situation.
All right. Well, that's one of the things I'm pushing for, is when you find these things that, you know.
This is the
let's
first one
fix
I've
it.
had in 8 years.
All right.
It was one like.
My question-
Monday building, the
Yeah.
contractor that built that, took one there with a pump and pump,
Yeah,
and it was there for a year, and it's gone.
yeah.
My question is, if we allow this and then they sell the property or somebody else, they give that trailer to somebody else, all of a sudden we might have, what is it zoned? Is it zoned business or what is it zoned? Industrial?
Industrial.
Yeah.
Industrial.
So could a business come in there, somebody could come in there and just connect to the septic tank?
It's not connected, it's a
Or
pump out.
can we just limit it to just this particular application
Yes, sir.
and for a period of time?
Yes, so there's a specific, commercial building permit that this review is required for, so they can get their commercial building permit. So there's a commercial building permit number, I don't remember, but it's up here. C Bowie 2640, this variance request would only apply to C Bowie 2640.
Well, they're gonna put a septic tank there.
No,
No, sir.
Oh, okay, that's right, you
We're,
know.
we're putting a portable tank that we.
Okay,
Yeah, they're gonna pump out and they'll dispose of that at our facility at Academy Creek.
And what's EPD requirements as far as what you can haul? Because, you know, they don't allow you to pump and haul stuff, EPD.
there's pump tanks, trucks that run,
But they don't allow, I mean, like, there's a limit, I don't know what the flow amount is. How many
It's just
people?
it's one bathroom in the building, so we're not talking about,
No, we're
you probably pump
talking
it
once
out
a month, maybe.
once a month, yeah, once every 3 weeks, but worst case scenario.
Okay.
They hold about the same amount that a Portalette does. Maybe 100 gallons, 150 gallons, something like that, 5,300.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now, this will be on tomorrow's agenda, with the commission like representatives from Reeves and Roberts to be here tomorrow, or if this suffice for them being here today, we'll do it administratively tomorrow.
It works for me for them not to have to come back.
It's fine.
All right? Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 3, equipment purchase, Academy Creek clarifier mechanisms purchase. Mr. Burrows.
Yes, sir. So your packet does not have all 66 pages, so we wanted to spare you the reading on the packet and Ms. Adina, the printing for this. But this is, if you recall, we issued a contract for phase 1 services for a progressive design build contract to rehab the clarifiers at Academy Creek on January 15th of this year. The scope is to basically take the clarifiers down to the existing concrete, recoat the concrete, and rebuild the internals. And we've been working with VRW Construction and Carter and Sloop Engineering to refine the clarifier project scope and working with them to select equipment manufacturers for the clarifiers. We received 3 clarifiers proposals that have been reviewed with the contractor to ensure that us providing owner procured equipment will fulfill the project needs. And by procuring the equipment directly, we avoid the contractor overhead and markup items that are listed in the design build contract. Thus, we save $608,800 by paying for them ourselves versus ordering through VRW. We received 3 proposals. These include mechanisms, launders, weirs, scum baffles, a secondary, a scraper opposite the suction header. These are suction clarifiers, so as it goes along the bottom, one side is a suction header which pulls the sludge off the bottom. This also has a rake on the other side to continue to push that material. And this also, we have requested a second skimmer arm at the top. So at the top, on a clarifier, a skimmer rotates around to take off scum. And we are requesting a second skimmer arm so it's continually removing scum. And then all the necessary equipment coatings, which for this project, for this purchase would be to coat the metal materials in hot dip galvanized, and then to purchase the weirs are going to be fiberglass. So the lowest cost proposal was submitted by Evoqua and Nefco. Evoqua is the clarifier mechanisms, Nefco is the launders, supports, weirs, and scum baffles. And you can see here the breakdown, the mechanisms themselves, the launder system, and then the adders for the, we're adding an additional foot extension on the side water depth of the clarifiers to give us additional head through the plant. We're adding a scraper arm opposite the suction header, and then we asked Evoqua, because the Vivo's system already came with a second skimmer, the Evoqua's system, we asked them to add the second skimmer arm. The real difference in the project is the coating of the metallic materials. The Evoqua system includes the hot dip galvanized coating. So the cost to buy all of this equipment is $3,805,000. And that is to 2 purchase orders, 1 to Evoqua and 1 to Nefco. We do currently have 4 Evoqua clarifiers and 2 Evo clarifiers. So we've worked with these manufacturers previously. We are working with the contractor to get the installation costs finalized to bring to you at the next month's meeting, hopefully.
So we're not through having this fun yet.
We're not even close, no, sir. So,
That's the way it is on this kind of project. Can I have a motion?
like I said, on the computer and on your links, you can find the actual equipment proposals. We have to go through as much of that as you would like with this.
Chairman, I move the Facilities Committee recommend purchasing clarifier equipment from Evoqua Water Technologies and Nefco Systems in the amount of $3,805,000.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? I've got one. I did not realize that the Evoqua is gonna have another company providing all of that, the fiberglass weirs. And is that gonna be the weir troughs too?
Yes, sir.
Are they fiberglass weir troughs?
Yes, sir. So Vocor is providing the rotating equipment, and the fixed equipment on the outside will be provided by NEFCO.
And who's responsible for all that coordination?
We are doing.
What kind of warranty do we have on that? I mean, the skimmers and all that other stuff is pretty doggone close to, I thought generally the clarifier people furnish that stuff, and they're responsible for it. Now, is this because of the little wall we gotta put in on two of those clarifiers so we can raise the level?
Well, we're not gonna put a wall. What we're gonna do is extend up, we're gonna put in essentially a fiberglass extension.
Is that
That's not included.
is NEFCO's, that's not including that?
That's not included in this section. So NEFCO is providing troughs, scum baffles, and weirs, and the density current baffles for the two clarifiers that don't currently have them. If you recall, we installed density current baffles on clarifiers 1, 2, 5, and 6, but 3 and 4 had a concrete shelf. We're gonna cut the concrete shelf out of there and put the density baffle in that, because we're moving the launchers to the outside, so we've gotta redo the exterior, the interior walls on those.
The walkways, we're gonna use it, we're not using
We're gonna replace the walkways based off of BRW's recommendations.
all of them.
Yes, sir. Yes, but even Avivo, if you look on their quote here that I got on the screen, they had a secondary company providing weirs, launders, and density baffles.
And have we seen what they're providing? Have we gotten a proposal from NEFCO?
Yes, sir, it's right here. So here is section views, and then there's the scope of supply there.
On any of our other plants, do we have trouble with the fiberglass weirs?
No, sir, we've had no issues.
Fiberglass weir troughs too?
No, sir, I mean, we haven't had any issues with the
Oh,
ones
there's
that
a
don't.
lot of them are concrete weir troughs,
Right.
with weirs, just the weirs being fiberglass.
Yes, sir, the clarifiers at Dunbar's have fiberglass weirs and troughs, and we haven't had any issues out of those. I mean, I think as long as the fiberglass stays submerged, it's not gonna deteriorate on you. If it stays dry for too long, that's when you end up with problems.
And it's lubricated.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I will note on the clarifier equipment, these are very long lead time items, which is part of why we're trying to order these in advance of actually finalizing the installation contract. These are 40-week lead time items.
40 weeks.
Can they, when's the first time they can get one there? Can they expedite to get some?
We're working with them on that, yes, sir.
Was their delivery the same as good as the other ones?
Yes, sir. It's 12 weeks for submittals and 28 weeks for delivery upon approved submittal. So if we get the submittal in, finalized, approved, that could knock that down some, but it's 28 weeks for manufacturing.
And who's, the contractor, I guess, is coordinating the work between Evoqua and NEFCO?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Andrew. Water main bulk materials purchase, Mr. Burris.
Yes, so we have two water main projects that we need to provide materials for construction. The first is the water main relocation at Howard Coffin Park to relocate the existing water main outside of the new living shoreline drainage project that is ongoing by the city of Brunswick. We've already got materials to get the piping out of the well across their shoreline project, so they're not holding them up. But this is to relocate aspects beyond the actual ditch area. And the second is to install a new section of water main along Highway 99 and northwards towards I-95 for future water main looping, as discussed at the last meeting. Given the similar natures of the materials purchased, we lumped them together in order to try to take advantage of combined pricing. 3 quotes were provided. Lowest price was from Consolidated Pipe and Supply at $276,515.45. This is funded by 2 separate capital projects. As the materials are installed, they'll originally be received into inventory and billed out to the project as they're consumed. There you see the list of items, hydrants, tapping valves, both PVC and HDPE, water mains for different sections of the projects, and then all the associated appurtenances.
Pam, how do we decide just those 3 vendors?
We actually requested 5 quotes. Derek and his crew did this. They requested 5 quotes, and we're able to get 3 back.
Okay. Requested one from Ferguson too?
We do not do a great deal of work with Ferguson for whatever reason in our area.
I did hear today that, because of the Strait of Hormuz, that, any oil-related PVC.
Well,
is
that's another thing we got. I will say to mention, this is the price as of Friday. It might have changed slightly just because HDPE prices in the last 5 days may have changed.
And I'm hearing 30% jump.
So if we buy it today, we got it.
Hopefully.
Yeah. We need that.
He said they hold it for about a week, so hopefully. If y'all recall, back during COVID, we were getting bids that said only good for 3 days. I think we're getting back into that territory now.
Okay, can I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move the Facilities Committee recommend approving purchase of water main materials from Consolidated Pipe and Supply Company in the amount of $276,515.45.
A second?
Second.
Motion second, any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you. Next item is Pump Station 4002 pumps purchase. Mr. Burrs.
Yes, sir. Pump Station 4002 is in downtown, behind, right there by Indigo. And it has 2 existing pumps that are both at least 10 years old. I say at least 10 years old. I found records on one of them being 10 to 11 years old, and I can't find a purchase of how old the other pump is. So it's older than that. So it predates our invoicing records we have in the financial software right now. The most recent invoice, of course, was from June of 2015. Currently, the station runs 2,500 gallons per minute, and this handles all of the sanitary flows south of Gloucester. There's a couple of pump stations that feed into this, but all the sanitary flows south of Gloucester. The existing pumps have both been repaired multiple times each. If you recall, we approved a capital project for the replacement of lift station pumps beginning July 1st, 2026. Given the critical nature of this pump station and 15+ week lead times associated with these pumps, we feel it's prudent to move ahead and place this order for these new pumps with the understanding that they will be paid for the capital project that begins funding July 1st, 2026. We were able to get 3 quotes, KSB, Sulzer, and Flight. KSB and Sulzer came in very close to one another, $123,540 for KSB, $125,968.90 for Sulzer. Sulzer's price does include float, the freight in the price, and Flight's includes the freight, but pump and process does not. The reason I say that's important, Hydro Services has a 15-week lead time, pump and process has a 22-week lead time. The freight cost broken out in Flight's cost is about $11,000, so by the time we take freight into account on the KSB quote, the lowest quote is from Sulzer at $125,968.90. We do have the associated packets with each of these pumps. We do have each of these types of pumps in our system running successfully. They are currently KSB pumps, but these are in-kind replacement.
What is the gallon per minute
2,500
on the replacements as
on the
well?
replacements as well, yes, sir.
Okay.
So we're not upsizing the station, this is a replacement of worn assets.
And don't need upsizing?
We don't need any more down there right now.
Okay.
The flow theoretically should be going down with that lining project we just did.
Are all three pumps the same horsepower?
They're within the same area, they're not exactly the same. We have 100 horsepower VFDs, so as long as they were under 100 horsepower, we considered them. 84 horsepower for the Sulzer, I think it's 87 for the KSBs. I'll get there. 87 for the KSBs, and the flights are 88s, I think. 85s on the flights. So everybody's got their own individual motor horsepower, so they can be different. So technically, this one uses a little bit less power too. Very, very little bit less power.
Okay, anybody got any questions? Andrew, I would like for us to look, and I can get with David, to talk about the hydraulics. This pump station pumps into a common force main at 4,000, can you pull that up?
Yes, sir. Pumps to a common force main now, the force main for 4002 is a long way before it manifolds in, but it does pump to a common force main. It's 4002, let's turn it all the way around. 4002 is real, 4002 right here in downtown. This pump station right here. Goes to force main, where is the force main?
4003 was redone
There it is. It's
about
underneath
8 years
gravity.
ago.
So you
7
can't really see it, but the force main is right here alongside this gravity main.
And what size force main is that?
18-inch force main, I believe, Todd, is that correct?
And
Yeah,
we had that one pigged, we had that one pigged a few years ago.
16-inch force main.
But we had it pigged or whatever.
We did the smart ball
ball.
testing on it. We did the smart ball testing and identified a couple of areas where we needed to replace some ARVs. But found an ARV we weren't aware of in the system. So, functioning ARVs really help a piping system. So it comes down, ties in, 4003 is on K Street. So, turns on K Street, and then 4003 ties in at this point at K Street in Newcastle. So, Chairman's point is we need to confirm, that we're not causing a deadheading situation with the pumps pumping against one another, when they're pumping simultaneously to trigger a high flow.
And it will not interfere with the city's roundabout project there. I mean, it's,
Okay, it is an 18 after they tie in. I knew it was an 18. After the tie in.
Yeah, we could, have we ever considered tying into that manhole in front of that 4003 with
Yes,
that
sir.
force main?
Yes, sir. We'd have to double the size of 4003.
Oh, yeah, that's right, okay,
But it can be done.
yeah. Well, that's fine. We can go ahead, if y'all wanna pass the motion, we can do that. It won't change too much. But I just wanna make sure that the pump is pumping on a good part of the curve when they're both pumping, when both
Like I said,
stations.
this is a like-kind replacement. We have not had issues where the pumps seem to be fighting each other, but we can go back and confirm the hydraulics.
Well, they won't be fighting each other, the capacity for each pump is gonna be different.
No, understood. If we got
And it
flow
might
meters
not,
at
it
the
might
station-
not be on a very good part of the curve, and it could be causing some cavitation in one of the pumps, at one station or the other,
Yes, sir.
which could affect the life of it. So we just need to check that. Do we have a motion? Do we have a motion yet?
yes, sir, with that, I'll move that the Facilities Committee recommend approving the purchase of pumps for Pump Station 4002 from Hydra Service, Inc. in the amount of $125,968.90.
Second.
Motion and second. Any other questions? All in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Next item is,
This is a,
pump installation.
contract to, once these pumps get here, to install these pumps in the station. This is 4002, those are large pumps, and it's a dry pit, station, and we have to rebuild, new support stands, for the pumps, because the existing pumps, we had specialty stands made, so we have to get new support stands created. We got 3 quotes for this work for whenever the pumps arrive, and the low, price vendor was Cornerstone Mechanical. They're also a pump supplier, but we did not quote their pumps for this job, at $46,700 to install these pumps once they arrive.
Considerably less than the other bids.
Yes.
What are we having to do?
They have there are concrete, areas there's concrete stands underneath that we've got to modify.
These are dry pit pumps,
Drop those
Mm-hmm.
pumps.
and they won't fit on the existing ones?
They've got to be modified, yes, sir.
Now, what kind of pumps do we have on them right now?
KSBs.
So if we went KSB, we wouldn't have to modify them?
I think we're gonna have to modify it either way.
Are we sure?
I'm not 100% sure, but David, Grantham, the maintenance director, he was the one that said that we needed to modify the stands, so. I trust that David has done so.
So we're paying $2,000 more for the pump, less, paying $2,000.
That doesn't include freight on the previous cost, so the quote's probably about $10,000 cheaper to come from Hydro Services.
What I'm looking at, we just approved a salsa pump, and we had to modify the base, and we think we might have to modify the base for the KSB pump.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm not sure we should have to do that for the KSB pump, if we got KSB pumps there.
I can confirm that with David, after the meeting before tomorrow, or before finance committee meeting.
Okay.
Hang on, he texted me, he's watching. Has to be modified for either pump.
Okay. All right. Do we have a motion?
Chairman, I move the Facilities Committee recommend approving the installation of pumps for Pump Station 4002 by Cornerstone Mechanical in the amount of $46,700.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Can you ask David to meet with us? Not us, but you and I.
Sure.
What's the next thing? We got Academy Creek Grit Auger modifications, Mr.
Yes,
Burris.
sir, the existing, headworks at Academy Creek has a, wash press, system for the, bar screens. I'm trying to wastewater actually layers off so we can see what we're doing here. And then there's a grit system that augers out through a grit classifier and into, both of these go into roll-off bins and for transport to the landfill. Currently, with the way the setup is, it's very challenging to actually get a roll-off bin to work for both simultaneously. So we end up with grit that ends up spilling onto the ground. We have to scoop it up with shovels and put it in there. So what we're requesting here is to modify the existing grit auger and turn it 90 degrees so we can bring it back a second roll-off container into that. And therefore, it keeps a lot lower maintenance scenario on that. So it replaces the existing discharge auger assembly with a new one that's rotated away from the existing bar screen discharge. We got 2 quotes for fabrication of this from K-Machine and Diversified. Low cost was K-Machine, $38,530.
You got a picture of that?
I do not.
Well, we've been working with it like that for a long time, right?
It did get worse when we changed the bar screens out.
So we've been working with it for about 8 years then.
About 5 years, yes.
5
sir.
years.
Yes, sir. We've got to replace the auger either way because it's worn and so it's starting to fall backwards and clump
Auger
up.
from the grit chamber.
auger for the grid chamber after the classifier would have to be replaced either way, so we're just replacing that and reorienting
Well, the
one.
grid chamber's working now.
The one side of the grid chamber is working, the other side has lost prime, but we're getting back on. What we're gonna do is put timers in. They seem to be, when both pumps try to run simultaneously, it seems to be losing prime, so we're gonna put timers so that they don't run at the same time.
Instead of keep modifying this, would it be better off to put a new grid chamber in? New
Yeah, I
grid
mean, I'm
equipment?
sure we would, sir, but there's only so much money in the budget.
And it's gonna be worth this, this cost.
Yes, sir. Like I said, we gotta replace the auger either way, so there's a very minor adder to actually rotate it 90 degrees.
All right, can I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move the Facilities Committee recommend approving the modifications to the Academy Creek grit discharge auger by K Machine Industrial Services LLC in the amount of $38,530.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Motion second, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you.
So per David Bruce's message, KSB told him that the bases would have to be modified for the new KSBs as well.
Okay. Where are we at? Dunbar Creek Clarifier number 1 rehab.
Yes, sir, we recently installed clarifier number 3 at Dunbar Creek as part of the project, BRW completed. Prior to the construction of that clarifier, it was challenging for us to take a clarifier offline for any extended period of time to do any rehab or extensive maintenance work. Now that we got the third clarifier online, we took clarifier 1 offline, cleaned it up, and did inspections to determine what the necessary rehab needs were on clarifier number 1. The scope of work for rehabbing this clarifier is repairing the steel supports for the suction header, replacing the structural members for the scum wiper, reattaching the scum wiper, and resealing the V-notch weirs across the clarifier. We were able to get 3 quotes for this work, with the low cost being K Machine at $38,600. This is one of those projects that we would have likely only had to be able to do in an emergency situation prior to that addition of that third clarifier. So this is proactive now that we have the ability to do so.
Can we assume that we're gonna have to do it to the other clarifier too?
We're gonna, once we get this one fixed, we're gonna likely have, maybe not the exact same scope, but similar, we're gonna bring it down and do a full inspection on it as well. Yes.
Would it be better if we had a quote for both of them from the same guy?
Well, if we assumed it was the same, we could do that, but we're not 100% sure it's gonna be the same scope.
Okay. All right. Can I have a motion?
Chairman, I move the Facilities Committee recommend approving the repair of Dunbar Creek Clarifier number 1 by K Machine Industrial Services LLC in the amount of $38,600.
Second.
Motion second. Any other questions? All in favor indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries 3-0. Infrastructure dedications and conveyance of easements. Mr. Klein?
Yes, sir, Mr. Klein will be here just a moment, but I will note that there are 2 items on here that are not included in this dedication today. That's items 8 and 9, Altama Plantation Residential Phase 1 and Infrastructure Phase 1 and 2. They were hopeful they were gonna be able to get everything completed prior to this meeting, but they were not able to. So we will only be considering the first 7 dedications here, not number 8 and 9. That will hopefully be brought before you at the June meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. Thank you, Chair, Commissioners. We'll go through these 7 items fairly quickly. Most of them pretty routine. We did have one that's actually a dedication of right-of-way to Glynn County. And I'll cover that one. That's number 7. Glynn Road right-of-way acquisition. So the first one, for the 4, is a residential development off Canal Road. And that is a master meter development because it is one single commercial parcel, residential, but it's considered a commercial parcel. 180 private residential units in there, essentially 180 customers, if you view it that way, that project is bringing to us. The only, it's not, you would say that's a large development, but it's only a little bit of pipe, and that's correct, because it's only the extensions to connect to the existing system out in the public right of way. That's why it's 140 feet of water main and a little over 100 feet of force main connection and associated easement.
Are they on sewer?
They are, they have an internal pump station that pumps out to John Waters force main.
Do we own that system?
No, sir. Everything on site is privately owned and maintained.
Okay.
Second project is a commercial project called Demery Hangar. It's off of Demery Road out by the airport on St. Simon's Island. This is one commercial connection, and we'll bring this before you due to the little bit of infrastructure improvement out in the right of way there for them to connect with the fire main that they needed and also the potable connection. So 84 linear feet of 8-inch PVC fire main was brought across Demery Road, and then their meters were connected, or their meter and fire service were connected off to that 8-inch extension. Project number 3 is known as Sweetwater Subdivision Phase 3, third phase of this residential development off Philmont Parkway Extension. See the area highlighted here. The first 2 phases are up between the Parkway Extension and this third phase down here. And this adds 55 new residential customers, individually platted parcels, so these are individually metered new customers. That project's bringing 2,300 linear feet of new PVC water main and 2,600 linear feet of new 8-inch PVC sewer now. Number 4 here is Hill Point Warehouse Phase 1. This is just the final wrap up. You have seen some items we brought before you previously from Hill Point, and one was an easement. This just wraps up the final little easement here that actually just encompasses their backflow preventer and their meter out front on the State Route 99 right of way.
Is that by our tank?
Correct, sir. Chairman, our tank is right here. This side right here. So this is the Hill Point development, and phase 1, phase 2. This is Amazon. Our tank is right here.
So what are we talking about, all of this stuff?
It's actually just, I can zoom into the, let's see. This package is quite hefty. Here are a lot of supporting documents. So it may take you a second to get to it. What may be just faster is you need just to go to GIS and show you via that.
Which is all the things on red, is that right? And on our report, it's everything in red, what we're talking about.
There, let's see.
Or green too, not green.
Right, so it's just their little meter assembly that's out. We'll go to the right here, where the meter is, just right out here. It's a little box that kind of comes off. The highlighted area is the whole phase 1 development, but it's just a little meter.
The red stays red on site.
Yeah, right, so red stays, that's private.
That's private. And what's the yellow? The stuff that's highlighted in yellow.
That's the whole parcel.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just delineating the, phase 1.
And the green's existing.
Correct. Green is our existing wastewater collection system. Anything you see.
Okay, so it's just a meter box or something like that.
Right, it's where the arrow is, approximately there. It's right. The backflow,
Okay.
it's their point of connection to the control water system. We need to do a little bump out from the right of way there to maintain access to the meter vault. All right, the fifth one here is with Brunswick Country Club. Now, this was an easement that we acquired over an existing water main, for some reason or another, over time, or back when the water main was installed, we did not, obtain an easement where that is. our friends here and customers from the country club, desired a meter to be installed here to service their maintenance facility. And, rather than having those folks come out here and install a meter out here and run a pipe all the way in, our water main is already right here. So the only thing we lacked was an easement. So we approached them, hey, can you guys help us out with an easement? And we'll set your water meter right there on the water main. And that's what we did. So we obtained essentially a 30-foot wide easement that sits over the top of the water main. Satisfies that easement necessity. Also gives them their water meter. I want to point out our legal folks actually, we did not have to do any kind of survey work with this. Between office staff, locating stuff in the field, and Mr. Dorman's legal team, we created the easement document to do this in-house. Number 6 here, maybe Mr. Burrow's favorite, you know, on the list here. Mr. Ken Rogers, a developer in German Village, developed some lots, or improved some lots. They're on Portland land. We're gonna say something about it. And, for him to do that, do what he needed to do, he needed to extend a little bit of existing forest lane out there, to get at those, new homes on. And that's exactly what he did as part of the, if somebody needs to extend, the public infrastructure for their needs, and it's within the right of way, typically that's gonna be deemed as public when it's complete and then conveyed, and that's why we're bringing that to the commission for consideration. Certainly, it's advantageous for us to acquire that and deem it as public because we have other customers along the way that can now tie into that, utilize that.
And the current survey work that's being done at German Village, defining from Virginia Drive back to past here with the dispute in the property lines, this still stays aligned? Y'all been involved in any of that?
Commissioner, so as far as we understand, we go exactly off the records that are presented in the tax digest and not in the county GIS, so hopefully any corrections are reflected in there.
It's still in the process of being corrected.
Is it?
Yeah. And, but it's moving, so I think it'll stay in alignment. It's moving from Virginia northward. Some survey at some point in time started at the north end and came southward, and it displaced right of ways. So this looks like it would be in keeping with the least amount of disruption that's gonna be caused, so.
Good information, thank you for sharing that. Certainly, if for some reason the right of way did shift and move, and we found that
Gonna be a lot bigger problem.
we would definitely, look with the county staff on, somehow ensuring easements and whatnot would be, settled over our infrastructure. Make sure we still do that. Especially if existing folks are dying to it. All right, so that is a biggie for us. Finally closed that one. Number 7, and the final one, is the Glynn County Denver Road right-of-way acquisition. So Glynn County is currently designing St. Simon's Island Gateway roadway and drainage infrastructure improvements. This is another part of the project also extends up Denver Road, and there's some areas that Glynn County desires to, for needs, to acquire a little bit extra right-of-way to make that happen. The commission does have the Denver Road elevated storage tank on Denver Road, kind of near the Ace Hardware or plant store up there, right next to the car wash. So this is just to need a little bit of right of way to Glynn County for that purpose.
How much right of way, how wide?
So that one, I will check down here.
Is it gonna impact our fence?
It's-
No, it will not impact our fence. If you recall, when you go out there, there's kind of a little turn-in road outside the fence, so it won't impact our fence. There's some valves that will have to be as part of the Glynn County project raised to grade at the end, but they'll take care of that as part of the project, because they,
So they're filling right there.
sir,
They're filling on.
they'll have to likely do some fill right there, yes, sir.
We'll still have access into there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we definitely will.
Because we got some future work at that tank, right?
Yes, sir.
So here's. Zoom out a little bit right here. Okay, Timber Road right away. And.
Two 100s.
let's see.
What are they widening it for? Why do we need more?
Making, turn radius is better, a little bit of lane width.
Okay,
Not, it's not adding another lane or anything.
Okay.
It's just,
Yeah, the total right-of-way area is 2/100ths of an acre.
Right, it's not a whole, it's just a few feet right here, but it does
okay.
give away. So this is the tank site right here, they don't show the tank, but this is the fence for the tank site. Right here, car wash, Ace Hardware, or, garden center. And this little strip right here is the piece they're acquiring from all the parcels up and down, the property owners.
So we're getting a right of way, we're getting an easement from them for our line that's in that. Is that what I'm?
We don't get easements in the right-of-way.
yeah, they're giving an easement to Glynn County for
For a
that.
temporary construction easement while you're doing that, and then
Okay.
the permanent right-of-way.
That's right. So I can also share this right here is kind of the summation, or the, overall sheet here. Kind of shows the improvements Commissioner Hill was describing. And that's some of what's proposed, and so we were up here, in this area up here. So.
And
new
Todd,
improvements.
the piece, there was some conversation of what you might need on, Sea Island. Has that been resolved with you guys, and that's being incorporated into the Gateway project?
Thank you for mentioning that, Commissioner. So, Commissioner references, we're also doing projects that long on the list, pump station 2023, force main improvements, replacement for that force main upgrade. And we'll work with county staff very closely to make that happen, and include that as part of the Gateway project. And we met out there on site just, matter of fact, it was Tuesday, with Frederick Academy, because that's where it currently discharges. And so we're working with folks out there to obtain a different easement to reroute that even possibly around their campus, and rectifying an issue there that we've got, been looking at addressing for a long time. So yes, and as part of that, we're cooperating with Glynn County, a little bit extra survey, I think even staff offered to do that in-house for us, and extend the construction limits just a little bit, incorporate what we need for enforcement. All right. That is the last item.
The last two in your packet, again, are not for consideration today.
Okay, so we go into the discussion section now then?
We got to vote on these.
Okay. Can I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the Facilities Committee recommend approving these 7 dedications.
Is
That
that-
cover it?
That'll work.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Todd. Okay, we go to the discussion section, Andrew.
Yes, sir. So for the month, across our 3 water systems, we averaged 8.8 million gallons of water per day. Fairly standard for this time of year, a little bit higher than last year, but as we know, it's been exceedingly dry. Metered was 8.3 million gallons a day, so that works out to 6% unaccounted for. I think that's probably lower than our actual unaccounted for water, but as we know, the well meters could be off up to 5% in either direction. So
How often do you calibrate those?
we calibrate them quarterly. So without going back and looking at the records, I'm going to bet we calibrated them in the beginning of March, since it dropped down 3 or 4% in March and April. So on the mainland, on our next page for the month, 4.8 million gallons a day metered, 5.2 million gallons a day through the well facilities. Fairly well balanced throughout the system. Intentionally using Brunswick Villa as little as we can. So that does require us to run some of the other wells a little more than normal, but that's working out well for us. Showing 7% unaccounted for water for the month on the mainland system. We did have 7 taste and odor complaints. That tends to happen when we go through drier periods. We have more odor complaints in our water and we go through drought conditions. So these were, sulfur smells in the water. That was.
Can we pinpoint these so we can know if it's occurring in the same locations?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So on our graph, we're running a little bit ahead of where we were this time last year. Trends follow very closely, just a little bit above where we were as we see growth out in the system. So St. Simons for the month, well production 3.1 million gallons a day, 3 million gallons a day metered. So pretty well balanced across the system out there. As you'd expect, more usage on the south end. You see the Mallory well. We are having some issues with a high service pump that has got corrected, so the Mallory well was able to pick up a lot of the slack for the increased usage. So system on St. Simons moving along pretty well over there. Again, falling pretty close to the same shape as we did this time last year. Just a little bit more usage overall. And for the South Mainland, most of the well usage for the South Mainland for the month was off Fancy Bluff well. They had a booster pump issue at Brookman that took a couple weeks to get a replacement pump in. So we were running mostly off the Fancy Bluff well, but running about 450,000 gallons a day on the south end, which is the highest month we've had in the last 2 years at Exit 29. So as we're getting more customers on the system at Exit 29, starting to reflect that a little bit in the flows. So fairly standard water month considering the lack of rain. Nothing unexpected in that regard.
On this area, what are we going to call our new well?
It's called the Exit 29 well in the permit.
Okay. So it'll be pumping more in the future.
Well, yes, sir. It's not online yet, so it should be pumping. It'll likely be pumping more than the Fancy Bluff well does under normal conditions.
Okay.
Speaking of that, I appreciate much JWSC coordinating with the county for the raising of
Yes.
the tank. And, that was a good event. I think a good photo op.
It was.
Shows good cooperation, city, county and JWSC. So
And we're hopeful for the next set of meetings in June to have a time-lapse video of the actual raising that we can show. We took a time-lapse, or Thompson Hutton took a time-lapse video, but that was just Monday, so they hadn't quite had time to get it compiled yet. But the hope is that we have that for the June meeting.
and when we do it, raise the tank at the north end.
We'll do the same thing,
Maybe
yes, sir.
Do something similar.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's in August.
Be August before they're back, not before they're raising the tank.
Where they go? It's on vacation.
The tank at 29 should be online in August. All right. Wastewater flows for the month. Again, it has been dry. The flows continue to reflect the dry conditions. 5.5 million gallons a day. That's actually a little bit low. We've just recalibrated the effluent flow meter a couple weeks ago, so those numbers will be a little closer online with the influent flow next month. You'll see that the influent conditions are higher than you would expect, particularly with the lower flows. We're not getting a lot of trash sent down. We are, because of the clarifier performance as we're getting towards this project, we are using the drain system on the clarifiers to help our withdrawals from those clarifiers, and by doing that, it sends it back through the head of the plant through the sampler, so that's artificially inflating the influent concentrations. But Across the board, good compliance month for Academy Creek. You will note there is a figure in the TRC column, which is about a third of the way from the right. That is because we had to shift back over to chlorine for one day because we had to do some punch list items on the UV system so that we could better calibrate the effluent meter at that new system. And so by doing that, we went back on chlorine for a day, so we sampled, so therefore we had to report a chlorine number. That was not an issue with the UV system. UV system was functioning just fine. That was a project consideration. But with the increased influent concentrations, our percent removals are really good, 99% BOD and almost 100% TSS removal. So very dry, half inch of rain total for the month of April. So we did have the dryer down for 2 weeks, so you did see higher sludge leaving the facility. The dryer is back and running as of last week. So the reverse side happens on our graph on the wastewater system. Since it's not raining, it's following the same trends, just lower than it was at this time last year. But you can see on the actual bars where the rainfall totals is, we are very much below where we were at this point last year. I heard one number I read in an article was that we were 17 inches below normal on rain for this part of the year, through this point of the year. So I would point out that if you look at that total from last year, I think we got 17 inches of rain in August last year.
And I do believe those numbers have been adjusted now. We're only a couple of inches shy
Yeah.
of
It's better than it was, certainly.
to
Yeah,
date.
yeah.
Something I saw.
So, Dunbar Creek for the month, 2.7 million gallons, which again is fairly low for that plant. I mean, we are seeing the tourists in town over this season, but plant operating very smoothly over there. Everything within compliance, 98% BOD removal, 98% TSS removal. Again, fairly standard month, uneventful, which is always what you're looking for. We will see some higher flows for the month of May because we did get 4 inches of rain that one day in May, so flows did go up a little bit that day. Not as much as you might expect for 4 inches of rain, but they did go up. And then Southport for the month, right at 450,000 gallons, so 30% capacity consumed there. Again, lower flows, plants are handling it very effectively, 98% BOD and TSS removal for the month. Did take one load of sludge to the landfill for the month. So exit 29 continues to operate very effectively on the south end. So all in all, good month from our wastewater plants, and we're continuing to see improved ammonia removal at Academy Creek. The month, 4.6 for the month of April through this morning samples, we were at, I believe, 1.6 for the month of May. So if we continue to have a good next week and a half, we might get under 1 for the month. That's the hope, anyway.
Good report. Next.
Chairman, thank you again. Fix report. Good progress to case today. First picture we're looking at here is exit 42 elevated storage tank. And you can see here the concrete pedestal. Essentially waiting for the event that we had happen this week at exit 29. And we do expect crews to return, the steel crews to return sometime in August, we're told. Once we get an updated schedule from our contractor Phoenix. They were here the last couple of weeks doing some plumbing and interior work and pulling the center crane out in preparation for the steel crews when we do arrive. You can see how close the adjacent, our neighbors are working. That's Hill Point Phase 2. A lot of dirt work going on there. And they are working with us to maintain our construction easement, which comes through access easement for our tank sites through here. So they're working with us to keep that open.
So that the metal tank is going, how's it going to fit on that the next picture?
Next page.
Oh, right, so.
How's it going to fit?
Right.
Where's it going to fit?
So, as the bowl, you know, we'll show some pictures next one. But as the bowl is constructed down at the base, near the ground, and then as it is hoisted into place, the bottom ring of the bowl actually goes up and it'll be welded in with a weld beam all the way around here, locked in place, and then it's grouted with concrete to fill this miter in here. And that'll lock the whole thing in
And
place.
like the one on the south, it's been lifted up, but they've not completed all the grouting and everything.
Correct, they're working on all, finishing all the welding, and, then they'll grout that last thing, we'll grout that last, miter and it'll lock it. Correct, and then actually it is, it's somewhat looks like a wine glass right now, it's open on the top. So, eventually the top will be also fabricated and welded, all the plates are there already, it'll be welded over the top. And once that's done, it'll be very, structurally, essentially structurally complete.
They had the concrete buckets up on the top of the crane today as I was riding
Okay.
through, so,
Good.
Which one was that?
exit 29.
Okay.
Commissioner, thank you for the report there.
I've been looking at it every day driving back and forth to
So
Jacksonville.
we
so.
have our resident inspector driving up and down 95.
Yeah.
We appreciate and respect those reports there.
Pretty flag they had attached to it too, so.
Generally, what are we gonna be using that void for in the concrete, in the bottom? There's a door that we'll have.
You can use that for storage in general. You can't store anything in those, underneath those tanks that have fuel in them, so you can't store equipment or things like that. We, like the I-95 tank that has this facility, we have some, extra electrical equipment and things like that that get stored in there, because it does stay dry, and surprisingly cool in there. So, it just becomes a good storage area for items that are not needed all the time. And then we'll have two other options for this as well. Again, can't store anything that has got fuel in it according to EPD regulations, but other than that, you're pretty wide open for what you can do.
And we have a concrete floor in there,
Yes.
Correct.
and they'll be tied into SCADA. Both tanks will be on SCADA,
Yes, sir.
so we'll know the level at all times.
Yes, sir.
Right, you can see here, that looks a little small in the picture maybe, but that is a roll-up door, full-size roll-up door. You drop the vehicle in and out if you wanted. But there is, it's not wide open inside here, we do have the piping, the vertical shaft and all that, and other, stuff in there. But anyway, the site's gonna actually get brought up too, so there's more dirt that's gonna come in once we're done with the tank construction. And so you're actually gonna be leveled off here to the,
It wouldn't be a bad place to put a cot during a hurricane.
yeah,
Yeah, let me ask you, there's two ponds I see there on the two adjacent properties.
yes,
And both of those two properties have tanks, also ground storage tanks for fire protection.
Fire protection, yes, sir.
that's correct.
What are the ponds for? Is that just for, what is,
Stormwater retention.
is it stormwater on those sites?
Correct, stormwater retention, yes, sir. Moving back down to exit, this is our work production facility, phase one of our improvement project down there. And, really good facility, get close to the end on this one here. I imagine, by early summer, we're gonna be complete out there. Good shot of the well that was rehabbed, improved, ground storage tank behind it. Well discharge piping goes to ground storage tank in a production facility, and from there on out to our system. And you can see the, existing exit 29 plant in the background. Shot of indicate here some of the challenges, existing, the gate actuator, et cetera. There was, beginning of the project, there was some rerouting of the horsepower feed and transformer locations. There was a little bit of work on the water line that's, remaining. Thomas Cutler, engineer here, resident inspector, Pete Strong. They get Schmidt, contractor on site.
When's this project supposed to be finished?
Originally, it's zeroed in on June. I would imagine, there are some delay days that they're submitting for.
Yeah.
For various things. Looking toward project modifications and things along the way. A few weather, but not too many to drive it's been. I imagine probably by the end of July, I would say it's obviously some site cleanup work, whatnot. Grass needs, good thing we got a well nearby, that grass. Good overview shot there. It's always a pleasure to see craftsmanship and play, and the electricians on this job have done a fantastic job. No small job curling all this heavy gauge wiring. Right, so Commissioner Gill mentioned earlier about the exit 29, which is division 2 of this project, the 500,000 gallon elevated water storage tank that we did hoist into place on Monday. And there's a shot of it right there, and it was actually, this is before, about a week and a half before we hoisted it in place, but there it is. They're finishing up the logo in this shot right here with the cherry picker. Good shot of how the logo is painted, and I'll call them artisans. It is still a lot of hand painting that happens with that. We use stencils to make sure the paint goes in the right places, but at the end of the day, it's still applied by hand.
And the next picture shows how it was on the ground before they raised it, right?
Yes, yeah, there it is. So you can see it over the top like we were talking about earlier. That is it. That's it ready. Waiting to go. Be hoisted up. I think this is before they had their hydraulic rams and everything set up here. The cables dropped down. So it's about a week before that.
It looked like they're toasting something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so there's another good aerial UAV photo from I-95. Seeing it. And you can even see it peeking through the trees, the bowl of it, when the logo and whatnot laying, while it was still on the ground, or it was hoisted in place. And it's very visible now, so. And thank you again for Glynn County's staff and leaders for participation in our big milestone on Monday.
Did you give a speech?
I'll let Mr. Tom there, the project manager, get the safety talk. We'll call that in the speech. I think we were all making him nervous walking around the site, but he was accommodating. So Division 3 of that project is the loops. A smaller component of the overall project is still important. So make sure this elevated tank is connected to the system as best as we can. There's a couple loops in the designated loops that we facilitate through there. And that's wrapping up. A little bit of paving, I believe, and final inspection, and then that one will be done. Work with the neighbors.
I think the paving's been completed.
Yeah, I think we're just waiting on final.
Yeah.
Final, get the county the final compaction. Okay. A lot of traffic control involved. I don't downplay the scope of the work. There was a lot of work against adjacent traffic. That was a very busy area.
Particularly between 7:20 and 8 o'clock in the morning.
Maybe some folks in this room.
Maybe some folks in this room that has to navigate that occasionally.
All right. That's the extent of the pictures for right now. A lot of other projects going on in different stages.
Yeah, a couple of other projects, just as an update. They did set the 1,500 kilowatt generator at Academy Creek on the new concrete slab. They are pulling a lot of wire, a large diameter wire at this point. We're on generator on the back half of the plant, not the 1,500 kilowatt generator. We're on a temporary generator they have brought in so that they can make the connection for the generator. So that project is nearing completion. Still got a decent amount of electrical work. We got a lot of site work that's got to be done there after everything's hooked up, repaving and grassing and things like that once they get done. We did finish up the Wesley Oak Circle project for that water main replacement project out there. That was done internally. That has been wrapped up, and then we are completed with the water main replacements in on Menendez Avenue in behind the Lutheran Church on St. Simon's. That got wrapped up this week. We've got some landscaping that has to be repaired, but other than that, the water lines are in and functional. We-
I went out to the South Mainland plant yesterday, and the empty carousel basin is not hooked up to the generator.
Right.
What does it take to get that hooked up to the generator?
I'd have to look at that. I've never looked at it. I've been told by staff it's not hooked up to the generator. I don't see why it couldn't be hooked up to the generator. That's a plenty big enough generator to do that.
We need to talk about that plant next couple of days.
Okay.
Anyway. That's a good report. Anything else?
That's all for today's meeting, sir.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.